True or false? If you start saying no to your overbearing mother-in-law, things will get worse. True. Research shows that if your mother-in-law is emotionally enmeshed with her son, your husband, she's used to getting her way and she has you trapped in a drama triangle and you start stepping back, yeah, she is going to escalate or increase her tactics to try to pull you back in. So we're going to talk about that today because I know for many of you, that's the fear that's keeping you paralyzed. That fear is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in a place where you continue to abandon your own needs, where you are allowing your health to deteriorate because you keep keeping the peace rather than doing what you know is best for yourself. And it's also preventing you from role modeling to your children what healthy boundaries look like. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you the 3 most common ways that your mother-in-law will escalate so you know how to weather the storm. And we're going to do that through the story of Kelsey and Travis. I'm also going to show you what happens to the dyad, like what happens when you exit the triangle to the relationship between mom and son. When you're not there to smooth things over and be the peacekeeper and the problem solver, what does their relationship look like going forward? And what does your role look like in the family? Now that you're not the peacekeeper, what are you? Before we get started, I want to show you that you are in the same boat as your partner and your in-laws, because everybody is so afraid to stand up to your mother-in-law, even though you guys are all adults, you're afraid to stand up to her because of what she may do. And the reason why, like you're all in the same boat, is because of 2 words, extinction burst. And here is a quick definition so we're all on the same page. But it is not clinical, but it's when a mother-in-law's undesirable behavior temporarily, that's the key word, temporarily escalates after her typical way of getting a desired reaction is no longer effective. So again, your fear is definitely legitimate. I want you to know that, but I want you to remember it's temporary. Now let's talk about Travis and Kelsey. They've been married for 6 years. They have 2 kids, a little baby girl, and then a 3-year-old son. Last year, Kelsey wanted to switch up their Christmas tradition. She wanted to start opening gifts on Christmas morning at her house. Ever since she started to notice that their son was old enough to just experience Santa's magic, she wanted to have that tradition at home and then go to her in-laws. So last year, she told Travis as much, and he went to his mom. She had a meltdown. He came back home, pressured Kelsey to cave. She did, and the tradition was unchanged. Well, this year, she said again in June, okay, Travis, this year our son is 3 years old. I want to have Christmas morning at our home, and then we can go to your parents. It's June. Your mom has plenty of time to adapt to this idea. We need to talk to her on family vacation in July. He agreed. So on family vacation, Travis did. They sat down, Kelsey and Travis sat down with his mom, broke the news, and it didn't go terrible. Like she was disappointed, she cried, but it wasn't a lot of pressure. It wasn't anything until a week later. Travis gets a call from his mom, absolutely sobbing. She's apologizing between sobs and just saying, it just finally hit me that our family tradition is over and I'm not even looking forward to Christmas. Without Travis's mom even saying anything like, get your wife in line, Travis knew what he had to do because ever since he was a little boy, he knows that his job is to keep his mom happy. In fact, in his wiring, his primal wiring, it's wired in him that his survival depends on his mom being happy. It's very messed up in there. So he goes home. Even though he knows that this is going to royally mess up their, evening, they're going to fight, Kelsey's going to be upset. He goes home and tries to push Kelsey to cave again. And this is what she said. I know without a doubt, Travis, this is something that you can handle with your mom. I am starting this tradition with the kids this year, but you are free to make whatever decision feels best for you. Travis goes back the next day to his mom, calls her up, lets her know that Kelsey is not bending this time. That's where things really take off. So for the next week, Travis's mom started calling all throughout the day, interrupting his work. Sometimes she would be crying so hard, she would say, like, I can't even breathe. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I mean, she's claiming all this stuff. And on the last day of the week, she threw her Hail Mary. She said, okay, Travis, I didn't want to tell you, but Grandma's health isn't that great. And you know how much she looks forward to this tradition, watching all of her great grandkids open the gifts on the living room floor. Please don't take this away from her. Like, how could you live with yourself if this is Grandma's last Christmas? This is our first escalation tactic, and it is making the crisis bigger. So Travis goes home, lets, his wife know, hey, this is what she said about Grandma. What should I do? And Kelsey says, that sounds like a lot. What do you think you should tell your mom? What Kelsey did is she validated her husband, but she didn't take on the problem to solve. She left the problem where it should be, which is between the mom and son. I think that was beautiful. So she left it on him. A couple weeks go by and Travis gets a call from his dad. And in just a few words, he basically said, Travis, get your wife in line. I can't live like this. This is destroying your mother. This is the second escalation where they get people involved. So I call it a release of their minions, because it's like Gru standing up, talking to his minions. He's not really even saying what he needs them to do, but the minions just get the idea because they're like, oh, we can save him, we can help him. And they just run off and they just try to solve the problem on their own. It's kind of like that. The mother-in-law doesn't even have to say, go pressure her. The way that she presents her side and how she's just so down and out makes them compelled to want to save her. And so they will go after the party that is stepping out of line to try to get them back into their role. So that is the second escalation tactic, which is releasing the minions. Some people call it like releasing the flying monkeys, which is just family coming down on you to try to get you to go back in line. A few more days pass, and Travis is invited or included in a family group chat. Now, in this family group chat, it's everybody but his wife. So his sisters, their husbands, his mom, his dad. And in this group, his mom is just pouring out her heart, message after message, apologizing. I know this sounds silly. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't function. Like this tradition is ruined now. And then she said, I have this written down, honestly, I don't even know if I'll be able to do Christmas this year at all. Like with this missing, I don't know if I can do Christmas. I'm so sorry. I have to get off the phone. I'm crying so hard. I can't even see the screen to type. This is the third escalation tactic where they make threats. So they threaten a consequence. Travis went back to Kelsey, explained, okay, now Christmas might be off altogether, basically, if you don't give up on this. And this is what Kelsey said. Well, that would be really unfortunate if she did that. But again, Travis, this is something you guys can figure out. Okay, so now you see each and every time with this escalation tactic, Kelsey was able to stay outside of the triangle, hold her line. But here are some more things to just watch out for that your mother-in-law might do. She might do gifts with strings attached. There might be smear campaigns, whether within the family or online. There might be a health crisis, but it's faked. So those are some other common things that you'll see. But now I want to show you what happens to Travis and his mom, because Kelsey didn't cave. She is going to have this tradition. So what is going to happen to Travis and his mom? So there's going to be one or two things. So they're either going to get better. That's not likely, but this is what we want. They would either get better or they're going to get worse. So better would look like getting some communication skills and some healthy boundaries. Boundaries. Sorry, I'm going to erase that. And worse would be Travis starts to see the dysfunction and he either will get help from a licensed professional or he's going to accept reality. But at least he's going to be aware of the dysfunction now because you're not there softening the blow. Either way, this is good for the daughter-in-law. This is a win because she can just focus on having an authentic relationship with her husband. Kelsey can focus on just living a life aligned with her values. She can focus on showing her children what it looks like to have healthy boundaries. Kelsey is free now to stop abandoning her own needs and to live her own life, not out of fear of, what's going to happen if I upset my mother-in-law. So at the end of the day, Kelsey's role now, instead of peacekeeper, problem solver, it now turns into a non-anxious observer. She's just a calm observer on the outside of this dynamic, this unhealthy dynamic, and she just simply watches it. She watches it happen. She watches the drama, but she doesn't get involved. And she's more of a coach. So she can acknowledge, yeah, that would be really hard. What do you think you should tell your mom? So she constantly is making sure she doesn't pick up the problem. She leaves it in her husband's hands and she's showing him, I know that you can handle this. I have all the confidence in the world that you and your mom can do this together. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever asked yourself, how did I get here? Like, were there red flags I missed? I mean, I would imagine when you met this family, it felt like a breath of fresh air. They were just so vulnerable and raw and welcoming and warm. And you're like, oh my gosh, finally just a family that accepts me and it's going to be so fun. They have all these traditions and they're always involved in each other's lives. It's going to be great. And now it feels suffocating. It feels like you can't be yourself. You can't have your own identity. Like, have you ever wondered, how did this turn into this? Like, from where I first started into this family to where we are now, how did I get here? I think it's important that we look at that so that you don't blame yourself and you just kind of see what the common path is, like how it actually happens. And we'll talk about that in the next video.